Today, we are diving deep into the incredibly dark and twisted world of Jeffrey Epstein. This is a story about unbelievable wealth, horrifying hidden crimes, and a web of connections that goes all the way to the top. And it all ends with a mystery that, honestly, still keeps a lot of us up at night.
So where do you even begin with a story this huge? Well, we have to start at its absolutely bewildering end. On August 10, 2019, Jeffrey Epstein was found dead in his jail cell. Now, the official story is suicide, but the circumstances were so strange, so convenient, that they sparked a question that's still being asked today. Was he silenced to protect the secrets of some very, very powerful people?
Okay, let's really zoom in on Epstein's final hours, because what went down inside one of America's most secure jails is exactly why so many people believe this was no ordinary death.
I mean, just think about the sheer number of things that had to go wrong that night. The 2 security cameras right outside his cell, whoops, they malfunctioned. The 2 guards who were supposed to be watching him, they fell asleep and later admitted they faked the logs. And here's the real kicker. Epstein, who had literally been on suicide watch just weeks before, was suddenly taken off it. It's either an unbelievable string of coincidences or it's something else entirely.
And, the reason so many people can't let this go really comes down to who Jeffrey Epstein was and what he knew. To really get why his death was so convenient for so many powerful people, we've got to go back and look at the twisted empire he built.
So, who was this guy at the center of it all? And what in the world was going on that island that became the infamous hub of his whole criminal operation?
On the surface, Epstein's story was this incredible tale of success, right? He starts out as a math teacher, uses his smarts to climb the Wall Street ladder, and ends up managing fortunes for billionaires. But that whole glittering image was just a cover for a horrifying reality. He was a predator who was systematically using his money and his power to build a sex trafficking network. And this was his kingdom, Little St. James Island. To the outside world, it was just this exclusive luxury retreat. In reality, it was the absolute epicenter of his abuse. His powerful guests would fly in on his private jet, which the media gave a grim nickname, the Lolita Express. That name alone tells you so much about the dark rumors that were swirling for years.
When the FBI finally raided the island, the details they uncovered just made things even weirder. They found this strange, temple-like building, they confirmed there were underground rooms, and there was this whole network of cameras and strange statues everywhere. They even found hormonal medicines, which raises some really disturbing questions about what they were being used for. Okay, so this brings us to the absolute core of all the conspiracy theories, the people. The powerful, famous people Epstein surrounded himself with. See, he didn't operate in a vacuum. His power came from his connections.
The scope of his network is just staggering. You've got flight logs showing former President Bill Clinton flew on Epstein's jet dozens of times. Donald Trump was a friend back in the 90s, though they reportedly had a falling out. Britain's Prince Andrew was forced to step away from all his royal duties after a victim, Virginia Giuffre, accused him. And the list just keeps going. Tech giants like Bill Gates, Hollywood celebrities, you name it.
So how did he do it? How did he keep all these powerful people in his orbit? Well, the main theory is pretty simple and pretty terrifying. Blackmail. When the FBI raided his homes, they found tons of CDs and photos. This led to the chilling suspicion that Epstein wasn't just committing crimes. He was documenting them, probably to make sure his powerful guests stayed silent and loyal.
For years, it really seemed like Epstein was untouchable. His victims had to fight this incredible uphill battle against a system that, frankly, seemed designed to protect him. So this section is all about that long, frustrating road to get any kind of justice.
It all started way back in 2005 with the incredible courage of one victim, Courtney Wild. But that first investigation ended with a secret 2008 plea deal that was so unbelievably lenient it was later declared illegal. It didn't just protect Epstein, it gave immunity to his co-conspirators who weren't even named. It took another 10 years when a journalist finally exposed that deal for the public outrage to force the government to act, which led to his big arrest in 2019.
So after that first conviction, what was his punishment? A measly 13 months. And get this, for most of that time he was on work release, which meant he could leave the jail for 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. It was a joke of a sentence that protected not just him, but everyone in his little black book.
Now, contrast that with what happened to his accomplice, Ghislaine Maxwell. After Epstein's death, in a totally different world, the post-Me Too world, The woman prosecutors called the mastermind of the operation got 20 years in federal prison. It's a huge difference, and it really shows you how much things had changed.
So, Epstein is dead, Maxwell is in prison, but this story is not over, not by a long shot. The real legacy of this whole case is in the documents, the Epstein Files, and the secrets they might still be holding.
One thing that did happen after he died was a victim's compensation fund, created from his estate. Now, of course, no amount of money can erase that kind of trauma, but over $121 million has been paid out to more than 150 survivors. It's at least a long overdue acknowledgement of what they went through.
And that brings us to where we are right now. There's an act forcing the slow release of court documents from this case. Thousands of pages have come out, naming names and revealing details, but, and this is a big but, it's just the tip of the iceberg. There are still over 1 million pages sealed away, caught in this huge fight between people demanding transparency and the powerful forces trying to keep these secrets buried for good.
You know, when you step back and look at this whole saga, it's just this dark, cautionary tale. As one source put it, money and power can hide a crime, but they cannot erase it. This story shows how wealth and influence can absolutely twist justice for a while, but it also shows that eventually the truth has a way of clawing its way to the surface. The question we're all left with is, what other truths are still waiting to be found in those sealed files?